Welcome back to Task Force Off-Road, guys. My name is George, and in this episode, we're going to be talking about what suspension is right for you. Stay tuned. First and foremost, guys, something that's really important when talking about what suspension to put on your Jeep and what lift to go with for your Jeep is, what do you want to do with it? Do you want to crawl it? Or are you going to do some Baja stuff? Do you just want to rip it through a mud pit? Or do you just want to drive it around town and look cool? Because with each thing that you want to do, your suspension's going to be done a little bit differently, and you're going to want to get different parts and different components. Or maybe you don't want to get certain parts and components because you're not really going to get the use out of them. But either way, there's definitely things that you need to do in order to lift your Jeep properly and ensure that all your geometries stay correct and factory, and that way you're not messing up any angles and you're not going to blow a drive shaft. So that's the first thing we need to think about. And we also need to make sure that what we get is quality, because we're talking about the ride of your Jeep. You drive this thing probably every day, because most people daily drive their Jeeps. So you gotta think, if you go over every little bump and you feel everything in the road, you're not gonna enjoy driving it that much, and you're actually gonna hate it. And that you're gonna blame the Jeep, a lot of the new guys, but really it comes down to the suspension that you put on it. So that's why I personally like to say, when it comes to suspension, you're getting what you pay for, buy once, cry once, and it really comes down to doing the research beforehand and make sure you're getting and you're putting on quality parts in your Jeep, because this is something that is extremely important when we're talking about driving our Jeeps in general, whether it be around town, up a giant hill, crawling over some rocks, or ripping it through a mud pit. Now in this video, guys, I'm not trying to tell you what suspension to get or what not to get. I'm just kind of trying to open you up to the ideas and make you ask the questions that you should be asking and what's right for you. What do you want out of your suspension? These are all the very important questions you need to ask, because for the most part, these things are expensive. I'm not done with my suspension right now by any means necessary. I want to upgrade it as it goes. I want to get the rest of the control arms. I need to upgrade some track bars still, because I only have one adjustable track bar in the front. And right now, I think I'm already $2,200 into my suspension alone. That's not a small sum of money. So it's one of those things where you want to buy it once and make sure you do it right the first time. With that being said, you definitely have to do your research. Like, I wish I realized that I would be rubbing on the rock crawler front control arms, and I would have not ordered those control arms, and I would have gotten the Evo front lowers instead, which I'm going to plan to install sometime in this near future. So you really have to go out and look and see what each company offers, because a lot of these companies make some great parts, especially when it comes to like the control arms and everything like that. Their designs may differ a little bit, but they're all better in one application over the other, or sometimes they're just better overall. And I'm not going to knock on one company's design or another company's design, because they all fit a different market and they all have a different purpose. Like, there's one company out there, I forget the name right now, but they make a boxed control arm. Now that's very strong. It's very different from the DOM tubing that are normally used or that we normally see on some of the other control arms. So everyone has their own different way of doing it, and you have to find what you prefer and what works better on your Jeep. One thing I am going to definitely recommend is that at a bare minimum, if you lift your Jeep above 2 inches, or really at 2 inches alone, get front lower control arms. Even the Mopar 2-inch lift kit comes with new front lower control arms. That means they know that angles need to be corrected. So don't go and get one of those kits that doesn't have front control arms, because it's going to really hurt the ride quality of your Jeep. Being able to push that axle forward and the rear axle back a little bit with rear upper control arms is really what's going to help fix the ride quality that you're going to suffer by lifting your vehicle up, because it is going to suffer. That's without being said, especially if you don't start improving those other parts. When you start adding those other parts to it, you start bringing your factory ride quality back. You start improving those angles, and you start giving your wheels more room to articulate. And that's really what you want. You want your suspension to be able to articulate freely. That way it cushions the ride inside of the cab. To start out, we're going to start out with someone who just wants an aggressive look. So maybe you don't want to change the factory suspension and you just want it to kind of beef it up and look a little better, maybe fit a little bigger of a tire, and you're on a budget. So with that, I'm going to lead you more into like a spacer lift, because you're not changing your factory suspension too much, and more likely you're not going to need to mess with anything else. Now with this, I'm going to say I would suggest a leveling kit, because when you start actually lifting it, then you're changing your caster angles and you're messing with your geometries a little more, and then you want to add other parts to it. However, if you just want it to get a little more aggressive, maybe level it out, a leveling kit's a great way to do that, and you don't really need to mess with too much. You're probably only going to spend $50 to $100 to level out the front end, and then you can fit a little bit bigger of a tire under there and get a little meatier and more aggressive stance. Now, I started talking about correcting your caster and your geometry angles a little bit, and that's what you're going to want to do when you start getting up into like a 2.5, 3.5, and definitely more like 4.5 and 5-inch lifts. So what I'm running right now is a 3.5-inch lift with front lower control arms and rear upper control arms that are both adjustable. And my whole kit is more or less from Rock Crawler minus my shocks. My shocks are from Fox. The reason I did that is because I like the way the Fox shocks ride better. Now that's another thing. Most of these kits, guys, you can pick and choose what you want to put on it. You don't have to just buy a kit as a kit. A lot of the websites, the kits are put together that way you can buy just the lower control arms for the front, and then you can buy the upper control arms from a completely different company, and the prices are gonna more or less mimic what they would be if you got that entire company's kit, but you can really mix and match and customize to what you like. Like personally for me, in my kit right now, I have the Rock Crawler lower control arms for the front, and I don't like them that much. Not because they're not a good product, but I'll show you what I mean right now, because my Rock Crawler control arms, the way Rock Crawler makes them is it's a straight bar with a bend going down to give them high clearance, which is a great design if you can run some really meaty offset tires. In my state, I can't necessarily do that. There's strict fender laws with how much my wheel can stick out outside of my fender. So I have a rubbing issue, which I'll show you right here. So you can see I have the issue of rubbing. Now, the way factory Jeep control arms work, or I'll show you on the Gladiator right now, is they're bent in a little bit to give you more clearance for those fenders. So I'll show you right now. If you can see, there's that slight bend in over there. And that slight bend allows you to run a little bit bigger of a tire, and when you turn in and turn your wheel to turn the Jeep, you're not necessarily going to rub against that. Now, that's not to say no aftermarket control arms do that, because a control arm I really like, and I'm probably going to upgrade to sometime in the near future, is the Evo front control arms, because they have that bend in as well as the high clearance. Now, here's the thing with the Rock Crawler control arms. Rock Crawler claims that they have a higher articulation with the way their joint works. So that's, again, you have a little bit of give and take with every different kind of suspension, and you also need to understand what the different joints are within your control arms themselves, because you have Johnny joints, you have Heim joints, you have typical bushing style joints that come more like in factory control arms. So you kind of have to know and definitely do the research with what you want and what's a good application for you. For the average person who's not lifting their Jeep too crazy and they're not wheeling that much, a typical bonded rubber bushing joint might be fine for you. Or for someone who does a little bit of wheeling on like the weekends and stuff, a Johnny joint is a great strong joint that's going to last you a lifetime as long as you keep on servicing it. So there's a lot to think about when it comes to suspension and what you want out of it. And we've just talked about budget lifts, spacer lifts, leveling kits, and that's pretty much it right now. And then we can go all into long arms and talk about something completely different, where now you're cutting off your factory control arm brackets, you're moving them back and moving that pivot angle and really allowing your wheel to articulate in a better way, and that's just going to improve the ride handling. So we're also going to get into why change your control arms. So what changing your control arm does is fix the angles at which your drive shaft meets your differential. Now that, and then you're able to now move your axle forward or back and recenter it under your wheel well. Now all this can hurt and or can improve. However, when you lift it and you don't change anything, you're drastically changing those angles, and a lot of the factory drive shafts, you're going to create a failure point because of that. What lengthening the control arms does is you're able to push that axle back forward to where it's supposed to be and correct that angle in order to get more longevity out of your drive shaft. Now, what else do you have to do to just lift it? Is it just springs and shocks? No, it's not just springs and shocks, obviously. There's a million other things to do. You can add just springs and shocks and you can lift your Jeep. However, you're going to lose out on a lot of that ride quality, and that's really what makes you enjoy driving your vehicle in the first place, is the fact that it drives nice down the road and it doesn't feel like you're going to break your teeth going over a speed bump. So that's why, and I'm going to say this a lot in this video, guys, I strongly recommend picking and choosing your kit and really dialing it in to whatever you want. So my kit right now is great for daily driving. The shocks are nice and they're not too soft, but they're not too firm. It's a good medium zone to be able to handle being out in the rocks and also drive on the street. I also have Rock Crawler's triple rate coil spring, which now that doesn't help too much on the road, because if you can see right now, I'll show you, most of my spring is actually sitting on top of each other. So with my springs sitting literally on top of each other, that's doing me no good right now. But when I go out and I wheel and I'm coming off of a ledge, or I have to bump up something and I get a lot of rise out of the front end of my vehicle or even the rear end of my vehicle, because the springs are the same back there, what you're going to see is you're going to see all those compressed springs come apart and make it very soft as I come back down after hitting that obstacle. So that really helps me, and it really helps the ride quality. So when you're in the Jeep and you're wheeling, you're hitting something hard, you don't feel it as much. You're not getting tossed around, and that way you can better maneuver your Jeep over the obstacle because you're not trying to fight the suspension. Alright guys, so I've been getting a bunch of questions on Instagram and everything, so that's what really prompted me to make this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. The purpose of this video wasn't necessarily to answer a question for you or to steer you in one direction over the other. It was actually supposed to do the opposite. I wanted to make you ask more questions. I wanted you to really think about what you want to put on your Jeep for your parts. Because as YouTubers, myself and all the other JL YouTubers out there and all the JK YouTubers out there and the JT YouTubers out there, like, we put the parts on our rigs and we try them out, and we kind of want to give you some insight, so maybe you see if you want to go that route or not. But really, we want to help you make a more educated decision when it comes to building your Jeep, and maybe show you how we did it ourselves. No one wants to tell you one way or another how to build your Jeep, because that's the best part about these things, is you can make it your own. So I hope I really broadened your horizon and made you ask some different questions that maybe you weren't asking, especially for those new guys out there who've never owned a Jeep before and this is your first Jeep, because these things are pretty freaking awesome. They're super modern, they look amazing, and they ride great coming from the factory. So like, a lot of people are starting out on the JL platform just like a lot of people started out on the JK platform, and people are learning a ton in a very short period of time. So I hope this made you ask some of the right questions when you're thinking about getting a lift for yourself. If you made it this far, guys, please subscribe to the channel and like the video, because if you like the video, it goes without being said, well, like the video. I hope you're all staying healthy in this time of craziness that we're in right now. And like I said, I'm trying to pump out some more content for you guys and really give you something to watch in this time period, because there's nothing else for people to do. I'm still working. I'm one of the few essential personnel, so I'm putting in a lot of hours right now between this channel, work, and school as well. So I'm trying to bring as much as I possibly can to you guys. Some weeks it's more than others. I'm gonna try and do at least 2 to potentially 3 videos a week. It's not always gonna happen right now, but that's the goal. With that being said, guys, please stay safe, stay healthy, and have a good one. One more thing. Very shortly in the near future, I'm going to have to post a school project on my YouTube channel. It's probably going to be up for like 2 or 3 days. And if you end up seeing it, I am sorry, but you do not have to watch that video. So enjoy it. Have a good one.
Yeah, it's that first day of first grade. That cute girl, your third date. That backpack, that snapback you've had since the 3rd grade. The first time you got laid, the worst time you got played. It hurt, but